Oh hey, yeah. Today I'm going to do this because I'm bored and I like, you know, making videos and drawing. I decided to put them together and make a video of these techniques the way how I draw. It's very similar to Leo DiCaprio's style in Titanic, as I found out way later. But anyway, a couple of preferences that I have just to get started. I usually like to keep multiple pencils, mostly around 4. And sometimes I'll go crazy, I'll have like 5 or 6 or sometimes a whole friggin' box. Some of them won't even be sharpened, but that's one thing if you obviously notice here, all 4 of them are really sharpened, because I put them through a machine first. Now, we'll move on to that later, right? Sometimes I have a preference, I want to use a big eraser. Just because sometimes the erasers and the pencils will be a little, and then a pencil sharpener. Now, here's where the machine comes into play. The machine sharpener I'd rather use, when it's electrical sharpener, when you put it in, and it goes, pour it out, it's nice and sharp like this. Well, I like to do that first, because sometimes these sharpeners you'll have are a little, like they suck. And if you try sharpening an unsharpened pencil with that, it's gonna, make it weird, and it's gonna break it, and it's gonna get stuck in the sharpener. You gotta keep banging it on the table to get it out. And believe me, in the middle of school, when you're already done doing all your work, and teacher doesn't really want any interruptions, and this kind of gets annoying after a while. So make sure they're at least sharpened first. And then after that, okay, let's move on. Okay, sorry for the crappiness of video, but anyway, usually you'll have like I have a nice little big notepad here. It's about 1 foot by, I want to say 1.5. It's pretty big. I don't know how many inches that is, but of course, I draw on basically anything I find. I'm not really big, but I do sign my own work sometimes. And actually, I filled in a whole bunch of books. I may put those in later videos. Here, give me a second. I'll make it a little bit brighter. Nope. There we go. That works enough, I guess. Here, I'm going to turn it a little bit more. Alright, here we go. This should be good. Alright, now today I'm going to teach you just a little bit things. Just a little bit, little pointers here and there. First, let's what shall we draw? What should we draw? I'll tell you what. I'll draw a soldier, just to, Yeah, no. Let's start basic. Soldier, I may show you a little bit later. But let's start basic. I'll draw, let's say, an airplane. I'll draw an airplane, okay? Let me know if you can even see this. Alright, you want to start off with a nice line over there. Your starting line. It depends on what kind of airplane you're drawing. I mean, I'm going to draw like a fighter jet, kind of like that. These are actually pretty basic. And I'm not drawing any specific fighter jet. I'm just going to draw a basic fighter jet. If it looks like any fighter jet, well then think of it as that fighter jet. But anyway, here we go. And then you basically place another line right underneath it. And then just follow forward. All the way to the back. Now, some airplanes, like most, you could actually, they have the tail fin, obviously. So we're going to put that in there. Just little short strokes all the way up. And then make sure you got yourself a nice diagonal line. Most of the times I like to use a ruler with this, but sometimes freehanding is just a little bit faster. But if I'm trying to make it extremely realistic, I'll make it faster. Now notice as you start drawing, the pencil tip will get duller, and it won't be as sharp as the other pencils. This will come into play later. So anyway, you start your outline again. You go, Okay, now you start making the top of the fin, and then you go down. Now, jets don't have propellers; they have jets, obviously, and so you'll want to put an afterburner there. So let's. Can you guys even see that? Yes, you guys can. Okay. Let's film that line a little bit better. Okay, so there we go. They got that, and then brought it over there, and then we'll start making the afterburner. This is just very basic. I'm not going into much detail with this one, but if you want to go into detail, you got to put like some like the detail on the afterburner, shade it in. Notice how I did it Leonardo DiCaprio style. I just rubbed it. Let's see. Oh, that's sometimes that's part of the paperwork. That sometimes annoys me. All right, now we're gonna work on the cockpit. The cockpit will be up here. What you gotta do is start making like a little bubble, and then you keep going back, working your way back, and then you basically connect those two lines with another line underneath, like that. And then, depending on how fast you want to do it, if it's like a large area, I'd recommend using this, but since it's like a little short area, I'm just going to use the tip of the eraser over here. So voila, you got that. Now you may want to put a little bit of detail in here, so you just, you got one. Now consider it as a clear bubble. So if you want to consider it a clear bubble, start drawing a line straight through and connecting another line over there. Same thing for over here. Now we're not going to put anything inside there, just because we're doing it basically. Alright. Now, what we're going to do here, we're going to start, bringing along over here. And just start, filling in the line a little bit better. Now, we're going to start putting the back fins in. Now, we're going to have to start do a little bit more racing now, as you've noticed. Probably noticed, okay, we're going to put a little back fin there. Okay, now we're going to start doing this. Now we're going to put another back fin right here. No, let's make it go a little bit further so you can see it. There, and then connect it right there. And then we're going to start erasing. You can't even see that in the video, but when I erase, you'll be able to see it. Alright, there you go. Then you got yourself. I'm just going to show you for how it's going right now. As you can see, you got that right there. I'll try to get a better camera for this someday. But as of right now, you gotta make do with what you got. Alright, now we're going to start, making the wings. Like I said, this is just basic. This is not really any detail. So then you start, start making those lines there. And then, of course, you'll connect. Because, the wing sometimes doesn't go into there. Then this is just a basic design. Erase that line. Erase the lines that go in and make the line a little bit neater. And then connect on the other side. Of course, to make the other wing a little bit smaller, a little bit more angled, because it's a little bit different. And connect. Okay, that's a little bit too wide. And bring it out like that. Of course, sometimes jets have those. I don't know that like the most point. And okay, now we're gonna start working on some decals because sometimes shading number one thing. All right, now we're gonna start shading over here. To make it look like a wing, we're gonna make it circular. Notice I'm using the very edge of the pencil. and just start shading in like that. And then go straight through if you want to continue. And then just shade it in, and then what I like to do is just rub it right in, makes it nice, clean, and neat. Sometimes not so neat, but hey, it looks good, I think. And well, it's all your preference. Now, the underside of the plane is a lot more darker than the upside of the plane, so you're going to make that a little bit darker down there. A little bit brighter up here. And that will be the case all the way through except for over here. And then make it dark over here. And dark up there, because that's what that is. And then start shading it. Of course, start doing the winged idea and the fins. Alright, start rub that in. And then basically the same idea over here. Okay, now we're gonna start working on the inside of the plane. Right now, we're just gonna like do a little person, right? We're gonna make the body of the pilot, and we're gonna make the seat. Fill the seat in. Now we're gonna make a little circle for the head, a little line for the helmet design. Make the goggles, and the gas mask. I don't know, the oxygen mask, and then depends on how much detail you want to go into it, and then start making the inside of the plane. I'm just gonna do this just because I can. If you guys don't feel like you can be able to do that yet, don't do that. Anyway, that's the inside of the plane. If you want to put like some decals on there, here I'm gonna put some Canadian decals on it. The Canadian Air Force or Navy, I don't know which one it is, but any kind of Canadian airplane is a circle with a maple leaf in it. And those of you who have been to air shows might have seen one. And then of course, you got that. So yeah. Now then you may want to sometimes add like a little bit of extra right there. So hey. I like to sometimes add like some other details. So unlike every artist knows, you want to know who did your work. You want to know that you did your work. So always put your name, signature. If you want to put your date in, that's fine anyway. In about how many minutes you got yourself a nice looking airplane. So yeah, that was a tutorial. Number one tutorial. I hope this helped you. Of course, always like what you do, always like what you draw. If you get requests, if you don't know how to do it, either give it a try or don't give it a try. Me, I sometimes like to give it a try, and then if it's like something totally wild, I'll say no. So yeah, that was tutorial number one, a plane. So hey, I'll see you next time.